Hello, everyone. Welcome to Our Kind of Homesteading. We're your hosts. Sherry did it again.
Shauna, why can't you remember your name?
I don't know. No, I mean, I can't remember my name.
I don't think you can.
I just keep thinking you're going to introduce me. I'm like, we're your hosts. She's going to say our names. So today we are doing a homesteading checklist. If you possibly are getting into a new homestead, if you've recently purchased land, or if you're considering it, we just have like a checklist to go over.
Basically everything you can do to get ready to start your homestead. If this is
prepare.
Like a new adventure for you and you're like, I don't know where to begin, and maybe you just moved to your property, or maybe you haven't moved yet, or maybe it's even down the line, right? There's like certain things you can do to start getting ready for that goal.
Yeah, definitely.
Homestead checklist, is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
That was your title.
I did it.
Mm-hmm. So, start reducing debt.
We made a list this time because we're
we always
and magical.
And we always are like, we don't need the list. We have a good memory. No, you don't. Neither one of you do, actually. Make the fucking list.
We did it.
Yeah, so start reducing debt and saving for, any kind of like tools or larger pieces of equipment that you know you're going to need, depending on what your homestead's going to look like. So,
which is very important. You have to have like the whole picture in your head, like, and be realistic with yourself, obviously.
Yes.
So like, you're like, okay, we're going on 5 acres. You probably don't need a huge ass tractor,
No.
But like, I mean, if you have the money, you want to throw whatever, you do, but like,
well, if they have the money, they're not going to be, worried about reducing debt, I'm assuming.
All right, Sherry, that's
I'm just
fantastic
gonna put that out there.
Fantastic points.
Put that out there.
But reducing your debt is, like, obviously it sounds like way more difficult than, or it is way more difficult than what it sounds like. Like, reduce your debt. Like, do it.
Be magical. Pull money out of your ass.
So my husband's like super, super good at this, at like saving money in certain areas and, writing out a budget. And he's like the money person. And I'm like, I'm going to get a Starbucks because, I want one, and I'm not like,
because I want one.
Money oriented at all.
Smart. Money smart.
I'm not money smart.
Yeah.
I'm like,
ditto.
And I have more of the mindset of like, money's meant to be spent. And like, you can't take it with you.
Yeah. I mean, you could, but that'd be very psychotic. Quite selfish.
Like the pharaohs.
Like the pharaohs.
I want to be buried with all of my gold and my women.
Ew. They like bury people alive. Like, well, I'm dead, so you're dying too.
Yeah, for sure.
Bad fucking luck for you. You guys keep her. She's not even crying. She's good. We're good.
We've been podcasting for a while because we're trying to catch up on things.
Yeah.
And like our kids are like, we're needy and we want you just to be out here and present, but we're not actually going to talk to you. We're going to ignore you once you're out here, but we want you to be out here. So they're at that stage right now, which is fine.
Of their lives in general? Or?
Yeah, like literally, like my kids, like whenever I'm like doing something, they're like, Mom, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Come out here with us, And I'm like, guys, I'm just trying to get this done. Like, I'll be there in a minute. And it's not like it's not like we don't see each other like they're at school day. Like I homeschool them, but like they want me present. I'm like, you guys don't even want, like once I'm down there, you're going to do whatever the fuck you're doing and you're just going to ignore me. Like
fucking
they just
kids, man.
want
fucking
me
kids.
there, like as like a person, which is very cute and I love it because I want them around too. But just sometimes like I'm just going to not be in the same room as you. That's all.
And we're just a few steps apart,
Yeah.
It's not like I'm moving to Mexico.
I know. Like, it's just crazy. It's very sweet.
It's
like,
phases.
I love
it's
it.
phases.
I love that they love, like, because eventually they're going to be like,
won't always.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same
older
time,
boys, they're like, hey, Mom, like a friend. Hi.
Like a friend.
Who loves you.
Yeah.
Love, love, love.
Love, love, love. I'll see you
tomorrow.
All right.
Well, I'm going to go hang at my girlfriend's house. I'm like, cool.
You stayed your hour.
That's right.
I said hour word. Anyways, reducing debt, obviously, it's very difficult. But there are ways to cut back, whether that's on Starbucks or Target trips or whatever you're doing. And then obviously finding ways just to, like, if you're like, okay, like I really don't need this super expensive whatever right now. I can hold off and pay off something else. So just like
super expensive what?
I don't know. I was trying to think of something. I was thinking of like hair products, but like, hair products are expensive.
Yeah.
Like if you're buying them every month.
Yeah, Daya could spend hundreds on hair products if she was able to.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're
hundreds and hundreds.
Like
and hundreds
I
of dollars.
don't personally. I like.
Yeah. Well, she has curly hair.
I was
bit
like,
different.
like I said, I didn't even brush my hair today.
Sean was like, I don't even buy brushes. Fuck that.
Oh, yeah.
Saving up
Right.
for other important
Sure.
shit. Okay? On the homestead.
Starbucks.
We don't own brushes.
We own lots of brushes, Sherry. I just can never find them. Okay.
Oh my
I
God,
just
right?
can never find them. I'm always
My-
like, where's the goddamn
My girls
brush?
got into the biggest fight over a brush the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, we have multiple of those. I don't even know why you guys are fighting. Like, just look.
No,
Just
they
look
literally
for a brush. And Dea's much better at like looking than Corelli is, obviously. So Dea like finds the brush and she like books it to the bathroom and then locks herself in there and takes her shower. And then like
Why? Why does she have to take her shower with the brush? Or just
because
she in the shower because she has curly hair?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
She brushes it
I
in the
was all
shower.
like, why didn't you give her sister the
Corelli
brush?
is banging on the door, and so I was like, I let it like do its thing for a bit,
Yeah.
and it was wrong.
Oh.
It was bad.
Oh.
I should have intervened immediately
Oh.
and been like, Dea, hand her the brush. Corelli, stand right there. Brush your fucking hair. Hand the brush
Yeah,
back to your sister.
because Corelli literally just is her hair straight. She just has a brush.
No,
it,
you
give
just
it
need to
back.
brush it and then go and take a shower.
Yeah.
They're both taking showers at the same time. Okay, why? Just wait. I don't know. No,
Yeah, go do
it was
something.
not. It wasn't okay. It wasn't okay. And so Corelli's kicking the door, and she's gonna kick it down. So I had to go like intervene.
Your life is so different than mine.
I know. And each time my kids fight, I think to myself, what is Shauna doing right now?
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
That's funny.
I do.
I'm like,
Shauna's over there like, bacon bread. Oh, like super like, hi kids. Super well-behaved kids. Hi there. So
my
calm,
kids are just
quiet.
my kids are just calm, and their personalities match.
Yeah, well,
See,
no, well, actually,
you
they're
have-
opposites.
Right.
Yes.
They're not like they don't have conflicting
They're my boys.
personalities.
Yes,
They're,
they're my
they
boys.
are your boys. See,
Yeah.
just think back to when you
Just
had your
think back.
boys.
Hold on to those memories, Sherry.
So nice. Yeah,
It's
they
so funny
totally
because when
are.
I was raising Aiden and Lorenzo, and I was like a new mom, obviously, like 20 fucking years old, and I was like, oh my God, I'm the best mom. Like, look at my kids.
I know.
Look at my
I
kids.
know.
Always get along. They never fight.
I
I don't know
pat
how
myself on the
I don't know
back.
how I did this, but I'm amazing.
I'm amazing.
Just ask me.
I know.
Ask me anything. Oh, actually, no, I don't have an answer for that because my kids don't fight because
Yeah.
I'm just amazing. They don't even fight to begin with
Yeah.
because I'm that amazing.
Yep.
And then the universe was like, both your girls gonna be exactly the same.
Which
It's gonna be super fun for you.
actually you deserved because you were a horrible child.
Yeah. It was deserving. I had it coming.
I was easygoing.
I had it
I
coming.
deserve easy children. I deserve it. Okay.
I'm just really glad that when I was in my 20s, I did have those like, just these two kids that just matched so well. It was so easy.
Are you? Because I would think you
Yeah.
want it to be the opposite.
No, because I
now
have
that
a
you're
lot
older.
of no. I have a lot of knowledge now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I would have thought I was a terrible parent.
Oh.
I would have been like, oh my
You're like, I'm fucking everything
God.
up.
I am.
Which you still automatically
what
think
the
that no
fuck?
matter what. You're like, I'm fucking them up somehow,
Yeah,
Like, I already
no.
think that.
Oh, yeah.
I think that and my kids are easy, I'm like, I don't know. I'm causing them some kind of, they're going to be talking to their therapist in like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
15
Yes,
years. And
yes.
it's going to be about their mom because like I didn't do that thing with them or something, Like because I always have like, it's mom guilt, right?
Totally mom.
Like so much
Fucking mom guilt,
for
I swear to
everything.
God.
For everything, you're just like, ugh, like, like when River, she'll come up because my daughter is, both my kids like so loving, and so you want to spend like so much time, like I was talking about, like they don't want me to be in a different room than them. I love how much love they have, but like River will be like, "Can we play a game?" She always wants to play, and we
Slightly smothering.
Yes, and
Yeah.
like yes, I will play. Yeah, we
Yeah.
play games, and then but sometimes I'm literally like I'm busy. Like I really try to give them as much as my time, but there's some times where I have other things that I need to accomplish, and so I'll be like, oh honey, like can we play a game like later? But like then you just like you're gonna be telling your therapist in like 20 years like my mom didn't play fucking chess with me
This
and
one time. No, that's not a thing. She will not be telling her. No.
I just always like feel bad,
No.
so I end up being like, okay, listen, like, and I'm always constantly like, I can't play right now, but like I definitely, because I don't want them to think like I don't. And how long are they? You're like, you're boys.
Yeah, I
they don't
know.
want to play chess with you.
No. Well, no. Actually, yes. Lorenzo does.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 more years then.
Yeah. 18. Yeah. No, they do. They have very obviously busy lives themselves. They're fucking adults,
Yeah.
Like Aiden has Abby and they're like together in a perfect harmony and a thing.
I
And,
know.
And then like,
which is great because Abby's so amazing and wonderful.
no,
We love her.
I know.
But, like,
it's
I
absolutely amazing.
definitely,
It's
like,
it's bittersweet.
I'm very like I'm worried. I'm
it's
worried.
very, very
I'm
bittersweet.
worried. I'm worried for that phase. I know we're like River, like with a boyfriend, like, she'll still call the shots because she's the girl. But like Ronan, like his girlfriend's going to call the shots and he'll probably end up being with somebody like me because like.
He's 100%
and
going
like
to be someone
I'm
like you.
controlling. So I'm like, okay,
Yes.
you definitely have
Yes.
to marry like an orphan.
Yes. You got to stop saying that. You sound psychotic.
Because like because I don't want her to be like, wanting to be with her family all the time. I want her to be with our family all the time. It's not psychotic.
It's slightly psychotic, yes.
It's
psychotic.
What's the word?
Psychosis.
Am I being selfish?
Yes. Am I being selfish? Slightly.
No. I'm helping an orphan.
Wow. Okay. No.
Yeah, she can be like with our family. This will work. This is a great idea.
He's never finding an orphan you psychopath.
Why? There's plenty of orphans.
So what? Is she writing out a fucking application? Are you an orphan?
Yes.
No? Okay,
Yeah.
reject. Sorry, goodbye.
A beautiful orphan.
Okay. No, it's never happening.
I want to keep grandkids too.
It's never happening.
Lots of rules. Anyways.
Back to the homesteading checklist.
Yes.
Not sure how we got on that tangent. Our tangents are fun though.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how they.
Yeah, deviate.
It's
But they
weird.
do.
The roads are weird,
Yeah,
but it's
the
fine.
roads are weird.
It's fine. Okay, so so start learning if you haven't already. Start
Yes.
learning how to cook and bake
From scratch.
all kinds of things from scratch because it will save you tons of money. Like if you bake a loaf of bread, you can bake a loaf of bread for like literally like I think I've done the math before. I think it was this was a few years ago.
Math? That's weird. You don't like math.
I'm okay with math actually.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
Whatever. So it was around 65 cents a loaf.
Really?
And I'm in California.
I would think it would be less.
No, that was it.
65 cents.
Yeah,
huh?
65
I think
cents.
it'd be like 30 cents.
Well, you have to take into consideration, like I was using, I was getting like the whole wheat berries. I was grinding them myself, so I had to take in my, the mill. I was obviously, you know what I mean. I would take all that into account.
She was milling her fucking.
I was the flour. I was making flour.
You're way better than me.
Yeah, and so. And then the flour, and then obviously the wheat berries, and then whatever other ingredients that you're gonna put in there.
You're giving me shit on the last one because I bought a loaf of bread and you're like fucking grinding your fucking wheat.
I haven't
your
done
mill.
that. I have not ground wheat berries in a little while. Like it's been a while. Like I just buy like flour, organic, obviously, but But I loved doing that because the wheat berry they take out so much when you buy the flour. Mm-hmm. So much is taken out of that wheat berry, and that's actually they take out like the healthy part. Don't ask me why. I don't know why, but they do, and then they fortify it. Why? Just leave it all alone. Grind the whole thing.
I don't know.
It's unnecessary to take anything out and add anything in if you just leave it alone. So anyways,
maybe it's something to do with like how they have like the preservatives and stuff. Like what
probably
it, will work
it
with
probably
and
is preservatives, and they're
I
just
don't know.
like, this is
That's
gonna go
weird.
bad too
but
quickly.
also amazing.
Yeah. So anyways, baking your own bread will save you a ton of money, and then really making anything that you want to make from scratch will most likely save you money.
But yeah, and like the things that you can make from scratch that you think like just learning how to make from scratch, it helps you be more self-sustainable. That is like the whole goal of homesteading within itself, right? Is trying to be more self-sustainable, trying to get like, off the grid or somewhat off the grid or not relying on all these other things to rely on yourself or your family. And so that is the point of homesteading. So, and it's just like, and you do it for different reasons. Like we obviously do it because it's like healthier. It's for our families. We like it. Like there's different, like whatever.
Yeah. The quality of the bread when you bake it, from scratch is like absolutely amazing.
Just
Tastes
like anything,
way better.
think of anything like when you grow. Have you ever had like a fresh tomato from a garden compared to like a store-bought tomato? Way better, way better. Fresh bread, way better. Fresh butter, fresh everything. I can only think of bread and butter. I'm starting to get hungry.
The soup's ready, by the way.
Yay! My
Dad's soup.
Dad's soup, delicious. I love when Mom makes it.
I know.
Which is weird that she makes it since it's Dad's soup, but he did start making it.
That's pretty sad. That's really sad. Wow, that's an epiphany.
Like poor Mom, she's all in there making it. We're like, oh, we love Dad's soup. Dad, you're so amazing. Mom's all in there.
And our kids even call it Grandpa's soup.
Yeah.
Like Corelli always tells
calls
her,
it
I want
Dad's soup. He originally started making it. Like that was
Did
his.
He made it once? And so he gets like all the, and she's made it like hundreds and hundreds of times. And we're like, Dad soup, you're amazing.
Remember, Dad used to make it like he would make his own vegetable stock. Once. Remember, like he made it several times. But yeah, we should make Grandma and Grandpa's soup.
Yeah, we probably
should change it.
We should change it. That is really funny. Mom like slaves away, and she's like, "Here's your fucking dad's soup, okay? Enjoy. You get a choke on it."
But making things from scratch, it does save a lot of money. It obviously is more time consuming. Like if you're making a cake from a box and you have to add an egg and some oil, or you're making it from scratch, but it's not as much as you think. Like I make pancakes from scratch, and people think that's amazing and stuff. And I'm like, literally, it's fucking flour and sugar and baking powder
and milk
and salt and milk and an egg.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's all this is. So it's really not that much. Like I know, obviously, like opening the little Krusteaz pack and adding your water is way easier, but like just adding a few more things. What I'm saying is it's usually not that much harder. People we put these things in our head that if we've never done it, like it's just super difficult. Even like making bread and stuff like that. You're like, I could never do that. You know, I'm not a baker. I'm not a cook or whatever.
Well, so if my suggestion is if you have literally never made anything from scratch, like start super small, start with pancakes and waffles. It's like crazy easy.
And then you'll be super proud of yourself.
You can't fuck it up.
I made these pancakes. Like,
exactly.
When I have my nephews who are more like city kids and they come over and I make them pancakes and they're always like, why are your pancakes so good? I'm like, because it's not from a fucking package. And they like love them. And it's like they are so amazed. Obviously, they're children. But still, like you're like, yeah, it's like to them.
It's fresh.
It's fresh and amazing. So yeah, like Sherry said, start with pancakes.
And then cookies, work your way up to
things like that.
Bread. But honestly,
making bread,
you don't even need to work your way up.
Don't.
It's so easy, and don't let it
follow directions.
And don't let it like the whole like rising thing. Like don't let that intimidate you. You just let it sit in a bowl.
In a bowl with a towel over it.
With a towel over it, and it just like does its magic on its own.
Yeah.
So
it's very simple.
Anyways, it definitely saves money.
Obviously,
it adds a little bit of time, but you just put that into your day. You know, if that does fit into your day.
And we've talked about this before, but bread machines. If you've never made bread. Super easy. There's just a way that you have to put in the ingredients. So like you don't want to put like the yeast and the salt together. Usually the salt goes last because the salt will kill the yeast, when it does its thing. So that's why usually the salt goes on top. Or the yeast goes on top. Something goes
into
on top.
A little, you do like boop, 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 make a little pocket with your finger and then the yeast goes into there.
I haven't made stuff with a bread machine forever because mine's broken. My kids used to make the bread with the bread machine. That's how easy it is.
It's like all your wet ingredients go first, and then all your dry ingredients, and then your yeast is on top. And that's literally how easy it is.
And then you let your bread machine do this thing.
And you set it for, it's a wheat bread? Okay. Oh, it's a white bread? Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's so fucking easy.
And we usually buy our bread machines at thrift stores.
Yep.
When they break down or whatever. We never like buy them new. Because
no, don't buy them new. They're always at thrift stores. And
they are not going to last forever. But like it's so easy with the bread machine, and it's still so good and so fresh and a lot cheaper. And it takes like, you'll have your loaf of bread within like, what is it, 3 or 4 hours?
Even less than that. Some
with
loaves.
The bread machine?
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't made it forever because mine's broken currently, but that's fine. But my kids used to do it. That's how easy it is. I had the little card thingy of the recipe, and then they would just do everything.
Yeah.
So,
super easy.
Yeah. So learning how to do all that kind of stuff, super important right now. And that's something you can do before you even, even if you're like, this is a goal of mine for 5 years is to get land for a homestead. You can start learning all this stuff now.
Start learning all this stuff now.
Like getting a sourdough starter. I know everybody is kind of like scared to do sourdough bread, but like you just have to feed the sourdough starter, which just means basically adding flour.
Just flour and water, and then you just feed it flour as it goes. But
anyways, once you get on to making bread, then you can start with your sourdough bread. There's a lot of things you can do with a sourdough starter. You can even sell starter too, because you'll obviously end up having more of it. And so if you're not making a loaf of bread every week of sourdough bread, which why wouldn't you? Because it's sourdough bread, it's delicious.
I was gonna say we need 2 loaves of sourdough bread a week at the very least.
Yeah. We don't go through as much as you, but I get it.
Yeah, my kids love sourdough. Like that's their preferred bread.
See, my husband doesn't. That's why we go through a lot of like plain white bread.
Yeah, Juan doesn't either. He doesn't like sourdough. I don't know why. He's always like, it's so dry. I'm like, it's not though. It's delicious. That's what it is.
Delicious to it, like an avocado.
Thank you. Add whatever you need to make it not dry.
Yeah, and then it's delicious.
Delicious butter or like you said, avocado. Oh my god, avocado toast. Are you kidding me?
Delicious. I love avocado toast. The next one is start learning to preserve. And this one, I think we did a food preservation one, so you can go back and listen to that. We're not just talking about canning. There's lots of different ways to preserve food. Canning, though, is a big one. And I would definitely recommend, if you've never, ever canned before, is to get, the, what's the fucking mason jars? Ball. They have like a actual like recipe book. Don't try to just can shit on yourself, like by yourself. Like, I'm going to just put stuff in there because like botulism and stuff like that. So go follow the recipes. Again, it's just following recipes. There's doing like jams and stuff in like the water bath canning. It's super easy. It's not hard. You just wait, put it in there, wait till the little lid sucks down. You're good to go.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Pressure canning, obviously, it adds an element of like kind of like scariness, right? Because it's like just like your Instant Pot, right? Because of the pressure, and you don't want it to like blow up in your face. That would suck. So just following the recipes, following like what it says. It's just basically jumping in and doing it and getting over like it's big and scary, because it's really not once you do it.
Yeah, and if you have someone that knows how to, how to pressure can.
Our last one, Sherry.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Networking is our last one.
God.
Well, we can make it this one.
List.
We don't have to go in the order that I wrote it in.
Oh.
It's psychotic.
Okay. Well, then say it.
Networking.
Yay!
Yay.
Anticlimactic.
But if networking can apply to learning new things, and it can apply to, figuring out where to get certain things you need, whether that's seeds or whatever. So you definitely, if you're wanting to get into homesteading, Facebook always will have like, at least we do in our area. I would think they would in every area. They have like Facebook sites specifically.
Like homestead sites on Facebook.
Homestead sites, like that's it.
If you're not on Facebook, there's probably some type of like homestead meetup where every time you meet up, you learn a new homesteading skill or something similar. There's probably people in your area. If you go to farmers markets and talk to like the local people that grow stuff, they have farms. You can ask them questions. You can probably, if you're getting land, your next door neighbors or neighbors near to you probably do some type of homesteading if they're living off the land, right? They probably know how to garden, or they know how to slaughter animals or whatever. And if you're new here, we do not slaughter animals on our homesteads, but we know that a lot of people do, and whatever, to each their own. So if that is something, a skill, definitely I wouldn't start off with being like, we're going to raise a steer and kill it. I would start smaller, like chickens or quail or some shit.
Yeah, you definitely want to start small when it comes to anything, though. That's learning. I mean, when you're learning any kind of new, whatever, anything new, you want to start small. Like, don't buy like a steer, and don't do that. No, it's bad.
Don't do that. Don't buy like
even pigs.
Don't buy like 12.
No, that'd be very
goats.
difficult. You probably would want to start, if you were looking into, raising and then slaughtering your own animals. Chickens is probably your best bet, ducks, turkeys, whatever. It's still quite a bit of work. So make sure you do your research. Again, network with people around you and stuff. Books, Google, all those things.
Podcasts. Hi.
That's right. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have experienced this so many times with people that are getting into homesteading, and they'll ask us a bunch of questions. We give them a bunch of answers, and then they go off and we tell them, start small, start small, start small, start small. And they're like, we already have our land. I'm like, it's so fun. Congratulations. It's going to be great. Start small. And then they're like, we got 15 goats. You're like, why? And they're like, because our friend was getting rid of their herd, so we just got him because it was this great deal. So we're like, it's going to be super fun. But now we have 15 goats, and we don't know how to do anything. We don't know how to trim their hooves. And then they're like overwhelmed, and then they're like, this is horrible. We don't like it. We want to sell these goats. Nobody wants to buy them because they're not from a clean herd, and they don't even know what that means. So it's just like all these things. So I know that there's going to be some kind of like where you're like, this was meant to be. It's this opportunity. My friend's getting rid of their whole herd of whatever. Just resist the temptation. Be like, hey, friend, can we buy 2 of said animal or 4?
Exactly.
And resist the temptation to be like, jump all in. Thank you, bud. With,
thank you, baby.
Both feet. There's some things where that's like always like, yeah, let's do it. And it's like fun and exciting. But that's like down the road when you are more experienced, because it can come with so much pressure. It's time consuming and everything else. And then especially with live things like animals, like they're depending on you to live for, whatever, however long
well,
you're
and
allowing
like
them
their
to.
quality of life and things.
Yeah.
It's just like,
so definitely
start out with a couple.
pump the brakes.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes.
Exactly.
It's going to be fine.
Exactly.
You'll get there. You'll get to your 15 goats.
Yeah. Yes, you will. If you start out with the goats, you're definitely
It's
going
like
to
chickens.
get
They're going to
more.
multiply.
Yes.
You might start off with a couple, but you will
I found
definitely
this, like,
have
hot.
more eventually.
We said preserving. Okay, so I think growing and for wildcrafting and stuff.
No, it's not the same.
No, okay. So growing your own food, and you should definitely dabble in how to grow your own food from seeds. Not just from starters.
Yeah.
Growing from starters is great, but growing from seeds it's a good.
It's less expensive, and you're going to want
much
to
less
eventually be
expensive.
saving your seeds and growing them from there. Again, it's like self-reliant, right? You're not relying on buying seeds every year.
Right.
Like you still might buy some from here and there. You might trade seeds with people to get different ones into your garden, but start off trying to just, even on your patio or whatever, grow a couple tomato plants from seed. See how it goes, see what doesn't work, see what does. Sherry and I have mentioned this so many times in our podcast. With gardening, the thing that is huge is your soil. It's huge.
Yeah.
People will be like, no, you'll buy your property, be like, we have the best soil here. You don't have to do anything to it. Lies.
Well, unless like there's been like goats and alpacas like free ranging on that entire property for the past however many years, then yeah, it's just a bunch of bullshit.
Bunch of bullshit.
Because
not literally.
most of our soil is depleted, and you have to amend it for your food to have like the qualities you want it to have.
Your food, you will grow. It'll be easier, and you'll be like, I'm a great gardener, way faster.
I'm a great gardener.
If you're actually start off with good soil, whether that's you want to be all scientific and soil test and be all like the pH and blah blah blah, do that, or you can just start composting, start learning to compost, start figuring out where to get, if you don't have animals on your property, get like Sherry said, alpaca. It's great for your garden. Goat, also fantastic.
Yes.
Chicken is less so because you have to let it like sit longer so it doesn't like burn all of your veggies.
Yeah.
But yeah, good soil, you will thank me, is literally how every garden, like it's like the foundation, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like
think
your
of
house, like if you're like, oh, I'll put up an okay foundation, see how it goes. And then you're like, oh, I'm gonna do a really good. The Three Little Pigs, people. It's the Three Little Pigs, okay?
But in gardening.
Like, the wolf's going to come. It's going to blow your house down.
And the wolf could be pests and, random fucking evil weeds. And
it doesn't even have to be anything. Like, you'll be like, why are my
it doesn't have to be anything.
tomatoes not growing?
Yeah.
And because your soil sucks.
Why are my tomatoes, like, not, like, they're huge, but they're not giving me any fruit?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well...
Yeah.
Your soil sucks. That's what it is.
Or, that might be you just have too much nitrogen in your soil. So there's so many things to learn about all of these things. So that's why I say, like, start small. And we've said that, like, I can't even count how many fucking times on this whole podcast.
But just start, like, with anything, like, you learn by doing. And so...
Yeah. So we're not saying not to do it.
We're not saying not to do it.
Don't just read books.
Go. Do it. Get some plants.
Seeds.
Get some seeds. Get some starters, whatever you want to do. And then... slowly you will learn, like, over time, like, oh, okay, like, oh, okay, that did that, oh, okay, and that did that.
Like, even if you've been doing it for a couple years, don't be like, oh, no, I just have a, what is it, black thumb or whatever was that the term?
Yeah.
I was like, I could only think of green. I was like, no, that's the good one.
Green is good.
You don't. I promise, like, you can grow things. It's just a matter of, like, we always say, like, my mom, it's just because my mom has a black thumb and she, like, kills everything. Like, if you give her...
She just doesn't water it, though. That's the only reason.
Yeah, it's just like, well...
like, she just forgets, basically.
Yeah. So, and she just doesn't, because she doesn't really care enough to water it.
Right, exactly.
And so if you're not going to care enough to tend to your garden and to want to make it great, it's definitely not going to be great. Just like if anything in your life, whatever you put into it, you're going to get out of it. So if you're not going to put a lot of effort into it, you're not going to get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't apply to food forests, though. But nuance.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about food forests next time. It's going to be exciting. Why am I so tiny now?
Shauna is so excited about food forests.
Because I'm going to make my whole front yard a food forest. And
it's slightly exhausting how excited you are, actually.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I'm like Dad with global warming.
Yeah, you fucking are with this. Yes. Yes.
Or should I say climate change?
Yes.
Global warming's a trigger for lots of people. Why is my voice so...
Global warming is a trigger?
Yeah. You
but
can't
climate
say global.
change is not.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's the same thing.
It
means the same thing.
You're triggering a lot of people right now.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. We're going to put one on the front of this.
I mean, I'm not like, that's just facts. It's hard facts. Sorry.
No, Sherry, it's not. Okay? It's two different things. So growing food, Sherry was saying that it kind of goes hand in hand with foraging and wildcrafting, which it does but it doesn't. So wildcrafting and foraging is basically getting to know your indigenous plants, or maybe they're not indigenous and they just are there, around you, and what is growing, like whether that's on your property or when you're going on a walk or on your friend's property or in the park, right? Get to know those plants around you. Get to know the poisonous ones, the ones that are not edible. Get to know lookalikes of ones that are edible. Start like really learning about them, because there's so much you can forage it will be mind-blowing. That's how you start learning how to make medicines and stuff like that for your family. Sherry and I make a shit ton of everything. We're foraging all year long, all the time, because we love it. Two, because it is so, it's just so oddly accessible. It's just like weird almost.
And once you learn, once you realize what you can utilize, just like right out off of your fucking like front door, back door, whatever, on your property, and you're like, that's weird. Like, and then what it can do, and like,
yeah,
it's
mind-blowing, right?
All of that. Oh, look at all of this fucking chamomile. Like, chamomile grows like fucking, I don't even know what, like on my property, like crazy amount of chamomile. And, that's sold in the stores, by the way, chamomile tea. Like, that's all it is dried chamomile. And it's like, you just go fucking pick it, dry it. Look at that. You just made some chamomile tea. Like, it's
easy peasy.
So easy. And it has its own medicinal benefits as well.
But every plant, and if you think about it, and I always say this to people, it's kind of weird how I feel like more and more people have more allergies, but like we've gotten further away from like using plants that are around us on an everyday basis. Like most people don't go outside and pick things and make a salad with it, with like the miner's lettuce and shit like that.
Right.
Most people aren't going and being like, I'm going to take the stinging nettle and use it in tea. A lot of people aren't like that, and they have so many allergies. Coincidentally, stinging nettle is good for allergies. And so we've gotten so far away from using these plants, and more, it makes sense that people have seasonal allergies. Yeah. It's because your bodies just aren't used to any of this shit. You're not
your
putting
bodies
it in
almost aren't like, think of being like connected almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when your bodies are no longer connected to the soil, the ground, the earth in general, like right around you, well, yeah, your body's going to be overreacting, as all allergies are, to these benign things.
Pollen,
exactly. And it's completely benign, but your body, because it doesn't recognize it, it's like, oh my God, we have to, combat this, and fire all the things, and then your eyes start watering, and
allergy
your nose
medication
is watering.
That's not good for you, that causes like, heart problems later on, and all this stuff, it is all connected. So it's like, literally, like, wildcrafting and foraging is one of my favorite parts of homesteading. It's one of the easiest things.
It's ridiculously
You don't
fun.
have to grow. You're not growing any of it.
No,
it's just it's growing for you. It's all like, hello, I'm here because it's springtime, and you're like, fucking sweet. Like, it's just sweet. It's just awesome.
I will
it.
help when my what the fuck? Not the chamomile.
Mallow?
That just grows forever. The mallow. In parts of my medicinal garden, I'll help that like stay alive for
through the
much
summer,
longer.
much longer than it would.
Much longer than it would if I just
watering it.
ignored it, because I just water it.
Yeah.
I just like
why the fuck not
with the hose, and
it
doesn't need a lot of water, and it's amazing. And then, Daya uses it for her bunnies. We use it for a ton of shit, and it's like, no, I love it.
I love it too. So the only thing we haven't delved into yet, which we are this year because my son is super about mushroom hunting. I've always been scared to do mushrooms because there's so many poisonous. There's so many lookalikes. You really, really have to get to know them. It's like plants are a little bit easier because you're like the stinging nettle because it hurts to when you, when you pick
ow.
it. Like the plants to me are easier and I just connect more with them and it makes sense to me and I can. But I have been doing it for a while, so I'm just like, I just need to do it. And just like we were talking about, just jump, like kind of get in there and figure it out. Obviously, we're not going to be like, let's try it and see if we die. Like, obviously, we're going to be doing lots of research. But that being said, there is an app that I use. It's called Seek, Seek. And it's super...
We're not affiliated. We're just like shouting them out. So you're welcome, whoever has that made that app.
It is pretty accurate, but it doesn't... It's not always because my kids love learning about things just as much as I do. And so they use it often and they'll be like, look, this is whatever. I'm like, no, that's wrong. And like I will know personally. So, but it is accurate most of the time, I would say. So once you can use it and be like, what is this plant? Right. Then look it up and then Google it, make sure the images match, and then be like, this is what it says it is. This is what it says it should look like. And then do your research from there. So I know it sounds like a lot, but it is definitely like it's worth it, especially when you're in an area where you don't know a lot of things. Like when we went to the coast, I wasn't familiar with the plants around there because I'm not seeing them every day. Right. So like, kind of taking pictures and seeing what is what was kind of cool and being like, oh, like that's, whatever the fuck. I don't even remember any of them now, but it was fun. Or when we were in Lassen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. So, and then if you come across something, you're like, I think this is what it is because you have a little bit of knowledge, then you can confirm it with that app. So it kind of works.
You said the coast. I was like, when did we go to the coast?
Sorry, because I was thinking about the coast when we went on that one trip.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that. It was when we were in Lassen.
Yeah.
You're all like, Lassen's not the coast. You're like, you're tired.
Not the coast.
More coffee. Mm-hmm. I don't drink coffee.
I am also tired. Yeah. So the last thing on our little list here, if you have the space, we already talked about chickens briefly. But chickens are ridiculously easy and they supply you eggs and a multitude of other things. Like, I love chickens. Like, birds are great.
Birds are great. I didn't know I was so obsessed with birds until like recently.
I've always known I love birds.
I was just telling somebody this. I know nobody cares, but this is an epiphany of mine.
Nobody cares.
She's
saying it anyways.
Just an epiphany lately because I have like a crow shirt on right now, right? Like crows or a raven. Yeah. It's a raven. I was like, what am I wearing? But I love crows and ravens. I've always loved owls. I love peacocks. I am obsessed with chickens, right? Yeah. And like I told my husband the other day, I was like, I didn't know like I have like an odd thing with like birds. And he's like, what are you talking about? How did you not know that about yourself? And I was like, I don't know. I just never thought of them as like a whole unit. I just was like, I like this animal and I like that animal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I mean, I love all animals. Like I want to snuggle all of them, like cute snuggle. But like you were the bird person.
Yeah. Maybe that's why you're like, well, she's taking that. She took that.
It is why I always was like,
I can like the crow individually,
birds and turtles.
The owl individually.
Horses? Yeah,
the peacock
individually. But like my downstairs
unit.
bathroom is like all different birds. It has ducks and owls and like peacocks. This is all
that
like
is
a
so
menagerie.
Funny.
Isn't that weird? Things
like,
you like learn about yourself. Like I'm fucking 40 and I'm like, I like birds.
Epiphany.
It was
that is
kind of
very
weird.
Funny.
Like I literally want to get a chicken tattoo on my leg.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say
I want to get a crow tattoo, and I actually want a peacock. I have a problem. How did I not know this about myself?
So speaking of birds and speaking of like loving them and always wanting them, and we've had these 3 Stop! I can't even talk about it. Anyways, so
emotional trauma.
Yeah. Right, that guy. Emotional trauma.
Emotional damage.
That's what he says. Yeah. So Cheryl and Cheval, they have from Suki, all of his siblings are like perfectly fine, by the way. Like, it was weird. Nothing like something happened.
Yeah, Sherry had a few Connors that.
There was 2.
There was 2, and they both ended up, and they were young, and they both ended up tragically dying for no reason.
One after the next.
One after the next.
And then it was like so fucking random, and
And
We're
they
like,
kept
what the
thinking
fuck?
like, oh, and they're very like they would fly around their house and they would just be everywhere with them. So they're like, maybe they got into something, and then they ended up getting another one who was a young baby who they were trying to imprint with.
And he was a ringneck and just absolutely adorable, and got him from our family, my husband's family, and he fucking dies at 6 weeks old,
like,
and he was
horrible.
What the fuck?
It was very like when she told, I like kept saying no, because like, you know, when something happens that's like tragic and you just keep saying no, thinking that it's gonna somehow like
make it
not happen. You know,
God.
it was just so like, it was awful.
No,
so
it was so
anyway,
awful.
so what are you saying? So
Cheryl, when they were here visiting, she's like, "Do you want the parents?" So the parents are not like, you cannot handle them.
Oh,
like very bad. Like they have not.
They're like PJ.
Like PJ, right?
Yeah.
They were done a disservice as when they were young and they weren't handled and stuff. So now they're like, humans are evil, but they breed and perfectly fine babies several times now, a couple times. And so I'm like, I'm really thinking of getting those parents.
Are you?
I really am. I really, really am.
I just don't want your little heart to be broken.
Well,
since they're not
me either.
But like, if they're like, and if something happens, like honestly, like. It has to be some kind of connection with like your house or something.
Corelli thinks that Suki, she's like, I really think he choked on something. I don't know what that could be.
I like that, but it's like literally 3 birds within like, you know, it's just weird. Anyways, nobody cares, but I mean, maybe some of you do, and you're like, that's sad. It's just like,
awful.
yeah, I just don't want you to be sad again.
I know, me either.
Yeah. So that's the only reason why I'm like, no, don't do it.
I know, right? No.
I'm like, I'm scared.
I know. Curly's begging me every fucking day for more birds.
I honestly think you should get a cockatiel. They're way more. They're like easier. They're hardier.
Yeah.
Just get a cockatiel. We love our cockatiels. Like, I know we had them when we were young, but I have one now, and you know, she's great. She can be a bitch, but I mean, she's female.
No, she's female. Yeah.
Can't we all?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Any female animal. Yes, accurate. My dog can also be a gigantic bitch. But, you know, love her anyways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, so, did we talk about backyard chickens? No, we just ranted on about other birds. Damn it.
Weird. Okay, so
we're all like, that's the end. That last one you don't get to know about. No.
Well, I think obviously self-explanatory. If you have the space right now.
And you're allowed to have them.
And you're allowed. Like, look at your, obviously, the rules. If you're in an HOA.
Don't get roosters.
It's a hard no. Don't get any roos, and
you don't need roosters to have chickens.
Correct.
Or to have eggs. Sorry.
To have eggs. But just get
you do need roosters to have chickens.
You do need him for that.
But you don't need him for eggs.
So get a couple hens, and then you can already be on that path and that like mindset of like, okay, this is how we take care of these animals. Like I said, they're really, really easy, and
we have so many episodes on chickens, like from.
So many.
So just fucking look back at the different ones.
I mean,
we have
baby chicks.
Yeah, we have like raising baby chickens, like how to do it. We have them on just the coop set up. Yep. We have everything that you possibly could want to know about chickens in all these episodes. So please look back at those. They are a super, like they are a good gateway animal.
Yeah, they really are. And I mean, obviously, they can have their issues as far as like, oh, they have mites, or oh, they have this little thing going on, or oh, this one got coccidia.
They're usually pretty hardy.
But they're usually very, very hardy, and like I said, just like crazy, just easy, like a first home steady animal. Mm-hmm. Super easy.
And obviously, like all these things that we're saying, they're still, even though they're really easy, I would still do some research and be like, what breed of chicken do we want? What are we wanting in the future?
Well, and obviously,
do we want to end up killing these, or are we just using them for eggs? Or are we just
do your research
for pets?
on.
Do they just want to be like, oh, look how? Because there's some really like the freaking game birds, like so nice.
Stop! Like they're so sweet.
Nice. Like their eggs are like little, and you're like, what am I going to do with this? But like. We feed it to the crows.
But like they're like this tall, and they're so personable.
They're so
it is unreal how personable
they are.
I
love them. We only have one left right now, and she's like an OG. She's old fire, but she's very, very, very sweet. She's getting up
and
there,
obviously do your research on like the coop that they require, like the housing that they require, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and even if you live in a neighborhood, you could still have things like raccoons or possums.
I mean, even cats.
Like depending on how small your chickens are. If you have baby chicks, obviously. They need to be in a brooder. I could literally rant on and on about chickens forever, but we have several episodes we already talked about all of that on.
Yeah, so go back through our episodes and look at all of those.
If you are going to get baby chicks, I would definitely.
But like we said, to start off a homestead whether or not you're already on your homestead land or whether you're still in a house and you're looking into getting land, whatever, start off with chickens. They're super easy and you will get much enjoyment out of it.
It's like a gateway drug
Exactly.
to everything else.
Exactly. It is. It really,
to
really
a magical
is.
place of animals and wanting all of the things. They are simple to have, simple to keep. You don't need a lot of space for them. They do require a little bit amount of space. If you want them to free range, they're going to want even more space. Because obviously if they free range, your eggs are going to be healthier because they're getting bugs and all the things that they need other than just a pelleted form of food. Think about yourself if you're just eating like some processed food every day, or if you're going out and like getting stuff from your garden, like which one's healthier. So free range chicken eggs are better, but they are an easy thing to start with for an animal, and most places allow you to have them now, like hens at least.
Yeah, not
like in
not
like
roos usually, but hens for sure. Suburban setup,
areas,
yeah.
So if you're thinking about that, or if you're already on your property and you're like you want to start with an animal, I would definitely start with chickens. They are your probably easiest to care for, and there's all kinds of things like the research. You can do all kinds of stuff, like you can vaccinate and stuff like that. We don't vaccinate. We deworm. We're dewormers.
And we use like the louse powder and stuff for mites. But in all of our 25 plus years, I mean, we've never had like a problem. Oh, she looks so sleepy. She's so tired.
You just throw around like she bowl of cherries.
Like a bowl of cherries.
Dea.
Oh, she's so tired. Look, she's like, put me to
She's
sleep,
like, Mom, nobody knows how to put me to sleep.
I'm gonna blow up.
Anywho, if any of you are starting off and have any questions, please email us. We'd be happy to answer them for you. You can email us at ourkindofhomesteading@gmail.com. A big shout out to Lexi C and Megan W.
Mm-hmm.
They are both on our hired tier. We have a Patreon. If you're interested in checking that out, you can check it out over there. You just go on to patreon.com and put in Porch Talks with Our Kind of Homesteading. I never know what it is.
And so this is what we're talking about. This is a whole separate podcast where Sean and I basically just laugh and talk, and it's very, very fun.
Yes, it is a lot of fun.
Not homesteading related at all. The title, we just say with Our Kind of Homesteading, just so people know like it's us kind of thing. But not homesteading related at all. It's just us just laughing and talking and having a great time. It is on Patreon, which means there is a payment tier, and the tiers start at $3 and go up to $25, depending on how many episodes you would like per month.
Yeah, but it is super fun, and they are just way more relaxed and chill.
Yeah.
And we have a really good time. So check that out if you would like. Other than that, and Lexi and Megan are our highest tier members because they're awesome and we love them.
Yes.
So, and they get shout outs on every episode of Our Kind of Homesteading. Okay. So thank you guys, and we will talk to you all next time.
So tired. All right, bye guys.
Goodbye. I thought I had headphones on. I was like, take them off.